Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. We just found out that one of our favorites, Postmodern Jukebox, just released a new cover featuring Haley Reinhart, who is one of your most requested singers. So we're going to check that out. This song is Don't Speak by the band No Doubt. It was written by Gwen Stefani and her brother Eric. And in doing a little bit of reading and research about the original song, I found out that it actually evolved over a long period of time. So it had a long incubation period, if you will. And the song originated as something that was more upbeat and funky, kind of 70s-ish vibe. And then it turned more sad, and the verses were entirely rewritten when Gwen broke up with her boyfriend at the time. So, with this in mind, I'm really curious how this song is going to evolve with the brilliant genius that we always hear in Postmodern Jukebox. Let's get to it.
You and me, we used to be together, every day together, always. I really feel that I'm losing my best friend. Can't believe this could be the end. And it looks as though you're letting go. And if it's real, well, I don't want to know.
The black and white fade to color is such a great visual build for a really brilliant build in the piece too. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Of course, I was just listening to this song again, trying to refresh my brain. I heard it a bunch during high school, and I'm shocked by how many little isms are similar between Gwen Stefani and Haley's voice. It's lots of little creaks, and the sound is kind of like kind of sound where you have a little fry essentially going into a note. I hear that. And then Haley is doing really specific and tasteful slides. Gwen Stefani does like to do a lot of slides. And it's funny, I feel like Haley's taken that aspect of Gwen singing and then said, I'm going to make it just a teensy bit more elegant in this setting, is the way I would put it. Gwen Stefani's got a little bit more like of I feel like a street savvy kind of attitude. And here, obviously in this setting, we have this sort of gorgeous orchestra, glamorous gown. Really, I mean, it makes sense that Haley would choose something that's slightly more elegant there. The start, totally a cappella, was great. I love that. Usually there's like a guitar riff that's going underneath, but you do have a really tender moment. And I love that they said, hey, we're doing a new version of this. We're not going to do this guitar riff. We're just going to let Haley's voice be the gorgeous, beautiful, husky, smoky sound that it is, because it doesn't need anything else going on. Okay, back to the beginning.
You and me, we used to be together, every day together, always.
So if you listen really carefully, adverb, you can hear that she's doing these little creaks in there. There was a couple slides that were just perfectly timed and really good taste there. But then in addition, I feel like she's pulling on the strings of these lyrics being a lot more sad. Knowing that this song started out a happier version and then went to a sadder version, I feel like what they've done is they've transformed the song already into something that is more introspective and sad, which is really awesome. Back one more time.
You and me,
love that creak at the beginning.
We used to be
more creaks
together, every day together.
I love the little tiny slide on day. She slides off of it. I mean, she hasn't slid off of other notes here, so you know it's deliberate. It's very intentional. One more time. This is a great entrance. It's hard too.
We used to be together, every day together, always. I really feel feels as though you're letting go. And if it's
I love the way she really made a riff on letting go that made it sound very major, almost like it was a release. And the strings here, they feel impressionistic in quality, which is something I've really enjoyed about Postmodern Jukebox's arrangement. It feels like it's not just jazz, but often has a lush, like Debussy or Ravel kind of feeling. Just love these soft strings with her voice too. It's a beautiful combo.
you're letting go. And if it's real, well, I don't want to know. Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Memories.
Oh my gosh, the way the swung beat came in there was great. I think that Haley is such a good choice to cover Gwen Stefani. Both of them have this really lovely airy versus more belted, condensed sound, and she's great at playing with those two sounds and all the stuff in between. Plus, oh, that growl when she first got into the chorus was great. And I think this is like a small marimba that we've got as well. That's such a like moment that he has. It's a call and response. I love it. It's so cute. Okay, one more time going into this. This was great. And I love that they even had the title come up with this. Cool. Here? No, just a little bit further. Whoop. Color transition.
Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Memories. Well,
Oh, that was cool. I love the slide up.
memories.
That's great.
Well, they can be inviting, but some are altogether mighty frightening. As we die, both you and I, with my head in my hands, I sit and cry. Don't speak.
Oh, major Jessica Rabbit vibes. I think it might be the glittery dress and long hair, but I love it. Love the movements, the way she's using her hands to, it brings in that, it's got like a lot of vintage movement to it, but at the same time, she's really using it to accent certain things and I think maybe even help bring in more color in her voice. I was also loving the way that when she goes low, she does tend to extend the lips often in the lower, just the lower pitches there, and it gets a little bit more of a warm sound, which is one of the things I think is interesting about Haley is she's playing with all kinds of different sounds. But I've noticed repetitively that it sounds like she's essentially elongating her vocal tract a little bit to get a deeper sound in those low lows. And then when she gets a little higher, she'll essentially shorten it and get a little more a brassiness, a brighter timbre. She plays in between in other ways as well, but I think that that's sort of where her home zone is in those two different pitch registers. Well, let's go back a little bit. This is great. Wow.
With my head in my hands, I sit and cry. Don't speak, I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak, I know what you're thinking, and I don't need no reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts.
Okay. I think we're about to get to the bridge here. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the other technical things that she's doing, which make it so good. First of all, these growls. It sounds like, I want to say these might be made like a rytenoid's growls. I need to see inside her throat to be 100% sure. There have been some really interesting studies done about like different kinds of growls and screams and essentially what constriction point that's happening at in the throat. And I like the way she will just sprinkle it on top. You definitely hear the pitch being made first with a little bit of distortion sprinkled on top. So that means that she's making the pitch at her two vocal folds and then sprinkling a little bit of distortion a little further along the vocal tract, which is very, very smart and the healthy way to do it. Additionally, I was mesmerized watching her jaw. I know, it's one of those moments where you go like, really, Elizabeth? You're watching just the jaw most of the time. The answer is yes. I think she's got so much beautiful relaxation in her jaw. And you see essentially like a cheek hollow that's happening where you can tell the jaw is like almost a little floppy sometimes, which is what it should feel like, just totally like it's hanging. And that allows for her to make a lot more clear vowel sounds. It seems like it's a very successful division, essentially, of tongue movement and jaw movement. And one of the problems that a lot of singers get into is that they'll sort of latch those two together. And anytime they have a difficult word to pronounce or a vowel that they don't particularly like, you end up getting tension in the jaw because the tongue is sort of struggling with that vowel. She looks like she's got just like beautiful independence in the two movements. And you can really tell, like even here, you can see that there's a little hollow in the cheekbone. And some vowels call for more opening than others. Anytime there is a vowel that's open, you see her mouth just drop open for it. It basically frees her to play with sound a lot more. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Check out her awesome jaw.
I'll explain. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak. I know what you're thinking, and I don't need no reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. It's all in me. We gotta start pretending who we
Whoa, that was a great play. Great play of the notes, of the run, of extending them. Love that on, I think it Stop Pretending, the way she took that up was just fantastic as well. Let's go back, listen to it one more time. Here. It's all in there. I love that. And right when she gets to who we are, she goes into her nose a little bit for that sound. It's one of the ways that she's styling. It's really, really fun to hear. So many people are scared of using nasal resonance. What you should do is have it available. Don't use it necessarily all the time. Well, depends on the style you're singing in. But she used it right here in a very smart way. Listen to the way she goes whoop, and then she comes back and shapes the vowel a little bit more. That's awesome. I think she's having fun. It almost sounded like Don't Tell Me What to Do, Don't Tell Me What to Say that the orchestra was playing. It's just reminiscent of it. I don't think it's actually falling. She just tossed it off like it was nothing, but that was really cool. She went up into a very light head voice on oohs, almost like she was singing The Lion Sleeps Tonight, right? Just really went ooh up there. That was cool. And then went to whistles. Wow. What a funny, like spectacular thing to just be like, whatever, this is easy about. Often you don't hear voices that have like this amount of color and range and power, being able to access that super floaty, like, ooh, pretty head voice up there. That was cool. I love it. It's like a little Mariah Carey moment.
Don't speak. I know what you're saying. Softly stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. No, don't speak.
Whoa. The like anger and frustration and emotion she brought into this caught me a little off guard, I'll say. It's like, it's intense. It's really intense. I think that's partly because of the distortion in the vocals that she's bringing, but it's also, you can tell that there's something more built up and furious behind this. Whoa. Oh gosh. Gosh, she's really good with growls.
Don't speak. I know what you're saying. Softly stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. No, don't speak. I know what you're thinking. Softly stop explaining. I know you're good. I know you're good.
I want to go back to a moment in here. This is really, really awesome. She's it sounds like she goes into a head voice that's a little lighter, but I love the way she blended the texture and point this spot out just a bit.
No, don't speak. I know what you're thinking.
So on what? The way she goes up there, it's so beautifully cut in the texture of everything else. I like the way she's taken up the same amount of distortion into it. She keeps the focus on it really well, even though there's a little bit of a shift there in essentially like what's happening in the vocal mechanism to go up that high. And I think it's so smart and just so a great way of aligning everything really, really well. Just notice how much she's opening her mouth for those top notes. Again, one of the most common things that I see when singers are working on singing and they're getting frustrated by top notes is that they end up locking their jaw and closing it and not opening their mouth up enough for those top notes. Look at how wide her mouth is on these top notes. It's gorgeous. Like, wow. I love the way she's using her hands as well. This is so smart. She's using them as like, she has a vintage, essentially like, almost like a burlesque style of arm movement that she's using. But at the same time, I think she would use the same movements in a recording booth because you can really tell she's like conducting her voice. It's important to have your body loose and free so that you can support it or support your sound and use your breath and have it have like a certain fluidity and then direct that energy. And when you're using your hands like this, it helps to direct that energy. It's really just, she's doing so many awesome things. Okay, we're gonna go back just a little bit here. right, because I think we're getting into like an ending section. I want to talk about this reattack of the note. A lot of times when you have a reattack of the same note, a really good idea for how to do that well is to reiterate the same vowel on it. And she does that oh, oh, oh.
Don't speak, don't speak.
So it's just a very slight oh, oh, oh. And she's even, you can just see the lips move a little bit. It's really fun to do. You should try it.
Don't speak, don't speak. Hush, hush, darling. Hush, hush, darling. You and me, I can see is dying. Aren't we?
We're going to go back here. Unsurprising, I'm sure. I want to take a moment and really appreciate this transition. She doesn't stop between it. She goes straight into this much lighter, airier tone. It takes a ton of control to be able to go from such a big, huge, filled moment and be able to pull it back without something like, extra beats of the heart entering into the sound. Your vein, there's a specific vein that goes right beside your larynx, actually. So when your heartbeat is going really fast, it can affect any sort of laryngeal vibrations, which is kind of cool. But you hear that she's got this so under control. She is cool. And when she came back to the soft part, it had a lot of intention. It sounded like she'd practiced that and was specific about wanting this sort of decrescendo into it without needing to take time to reset. Back here a little more. Just a little bit more. Right? That transition is really amazing. That takes so much control.
Is dying. Aren't
Love it. I loved so many things about this performance overall, and of course, Haley's voice and the arrangement. I felt it was so effective to have an orchestra underneath with these strings and harp, and the way that those can contribute to that sad feeling. And then the anger, when we got that swung beat to this really slow beat where she was able to wail, sounded like it was approaching more of a blues, just frustration, and the way she added some of that growl in there and the anger in the situation. I love the way that this seemed to bring out even more emotion than I had felt from the original song. I feel like that is just major kudos to PMJ for being able to arrange something like that that feels almost even more true to the original intentions. Fantastic. I also just love what Haley does with her voice. She's so playful and she's so deliberate and intentional about all of these little sprinkles on top. Her fundamental sound is sultry and inviting. And then you have all of these just fantastic, mind-boggling moments where she shows that she has control of every single aspect of it. And it's amazing to hear her. What a fun selection, too, as a cover. Just really, really loved it. I hope that all of you will continue to make recommendations. Let me know what other Haley songs you'd like to hear or other Postmodern Jukebox. Make those recommendations in the comments down below this video. That's where we look for them the most. And we have a premiere here every single Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 8 a.m. Arizona time. That's when we have a live chat during the premiere. There are no ads, and you can come and say hello to me at that time. It's really fun. So I hope I'll see you there, or you can also find us on Patreon, where I have courses about music in general and singing at thecharismaticvoice.com. I'll see you somewhere soon.